In the big Bilge Tank, we'll keep you in the know. In the big Bilge Tank, we'll fix your techie woes.
And we'll break things and we'll make things till we're all together raking and
We'll
we'll
raise a cup of grog down in the big Bilge Tank. In the big Bilge Tank, come and join our pirate crew. In the big Bilge Tank,
We will show you what to do.
and we'll hack it till we crack it.
and we'll tell the world about it and forget to tidy up.
That's why it's now a Bilge Tank.
Hello and welcome to episode 081 of the Bilge Tank.
Hello.
I'm here with Paul and Rogue.
Yep.
If you haven't met Rogue before, he's one of the support ninjas on the forums and does a lot of our installer stuff, which is like super useful. It helps people get started,
Yeah.
and it's something that
You kind of
he's a lot
started
better at than we are.
You started off doing kind of random little code bits that we were just incapable of, and increasingly you're doing kind of all the complex bits of code that make Phil just kind of go, I don't want to hurt anymore. So, what have you worked on? You've worked on kind of like the apt packages, the Flotilla Windows stuff.
Just the app stuff. Before we move on, is the app stuff is actually in the Raspbian repos now, right?
Yes, we're going to have a go at that, trying to live install it and do
we're gonna
a couple
do-
of things.
Yeah, we're going to
demo people.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
And is that? I mean, how quickly does that stuff get in there? So if we release something like Scrollfat HD, how soon
Well,
can we expect to
actually,
see it?
the updates, we don't do it through that. It's actually a self-update. Every time you start, what we're going to show you, which is the Pimoroni Dashboard, it self-updates itself. So
Right.
it's just a question of us actually coding the new product in,
Yeah.
and just push it to our own server.
So that's the dashboard, which is...
So it's basically as soon as we get a one-line installer, it is live.
So what we actually have in Raspbian is more like a stub that we
Exactly.
can then embellish with new products whenever they're needed.
That's exactly.
And this is the right way to do it for our stuff, right? Or the easiest.
Well,
most
it's
straightforward way.
certainly one way to guarantee that it's there when we need it.
Yeah, cool.
Good.
You'll notice Phil and Sandy aren't here, and that's because they're fixing everything we broke with the launch of the Zero
Our
W.
Zero W launch, we're all a little bit frazzled.
Yeah,
and
but it's been great success.
yes,
it's
it
been-
has.
In terms of number of orders, it was our busiest day ever, right?
It was, and the shop
And-
team nailed it.
Absolutely. I was
And-
there. It was Shrove Tuesday, so I was there like 7 PM at night cooking them pancakes in the post
You
room.
ran off to get a cast iron skillet to work on your induction hob.
Yeah, I went to IKEA. They have this cute little £35 induction hob that just goes on the desktop.
It was just an excuse to go to IKEA.
I don't need an excuse anymore. I'm at home with my addiction.
The dangerous thing is we're getting an IKEA just down the road, or just down the beach, should I say, from
Yeah.
us on Sheffield-on-Sea.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait for that. When is it going? Like 6 months?
Summer.
Woo!
They're not allowed to open it until they fix the roads.
Yeah, there's massive
That's the
roadworks
deal.
going on, isn't there?
Yeah.
And hopefully we're moving premises soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
IKEA fixes roads.
Well,
Yeah.
they have to because of the volume of
Okay,
traffic they produce.
Is a Billy.
They unpack their flat pack roads, lay them down, and away
Yeah.
you go.
So we're going to have a load of Swedish junctions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are they going to be called things like walkway? And
Yes.
cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Mm.
But we're actually looking at some new premises that are really nearby to the IKEA as well, so that's just going to make the situation.
I was thinking of
even
NeoPixel
better.
traffic lights.
Ooh, nice.
Red, green, and
That'd
blue.
be hugely
Red, green,
confusing.
and orange.
In Japan, they use blue, don't they?
Yeah,
Is
they
that
call
right?
it. They call it green though.
Ah,
There's a whole thing about the history of blue,
right.
and the word blue wasn't really used.
Hey, we could use this as a really slick segue into the paints thing, and then go to Rogue.
Yeah.
That wasn't even intentional, but
Yeah.
paints.
So yeah, I don't know if you know, there's something called Vanta Black, which is the new blackish black substance.
Is this some sort of carbon nanotubey thing, or
Possibly involves carbon
But
nanotubes.
basically you paint this on a surface and you get essentially no reflections.
But what
it
they
absorbs
did-
everything that hits it.
They exclusively licensed the artistic rights to it to one guy, Anish
Okay.
Kapoor, and nobody else is
I've
allowed
heard
to
that
play.
name before. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
famous artist. So there's this guy called Stuart Semple, and we'll get the website up here.
Which bit of the website do you want? Do you want the homepage or?
Go for the homepage, then we'll go to the store. So he was kind of a bit peeved and said, "No, this is no good. Why can't everybody play with this?" So he
Is
in
this safe
response-
for work, by the way?
Possibly, yeah.
Good. Okay, just checking.
Most of it. If we go quickly to the pigment,
It's shop.
yeah, store. So he released kind of the pinkest pink and not the blackest black, which is not nearly as black as the blackest black, but is about 20 times cheaper, and everyone can buy it except Anish Kapoor.
And really
When
inexpertly
you-
daubed on this piece of tinfoil.
Yeah, I don't think we've got it.
Is it on crinkled tinfoil to try and show the fact
Try
it doesn't
and
look
show
right?
it soaks up. Yeah. So if you want to hold it up
That's
there.
Never mind.
to the camera. See if we can see a difference.
Where is it?
So just hold it up in front of this one because I
We
want to
can't
see
see
that.
the camera, Paul.
Yeah.
Camera's not up.
Yeah.
Oh, that camera.
Yeah, just the front
Oh,
camera.
I see.
So if you can see there, it's kind of working. I mean, the lights are pretty bright in here, but you can still see some contours there.
Is this why someone
Let
was
me make
running
an eye
around
patch.
the workshop looking for paintbrushes?
Yeah,
There we
yeah,
go.
Okay.
You can make an eye patch if you.
Yeah.
Yarr.
But if you compare, get this other one at the front here.
This one?
No, the other one. Hold that up. That's normal. This is normal chalkboard
both
paint.
at the same time.
Compare
I can't
and
do
quite
that.
literally contrast.
or lack of contrast. So
It's-
yeah, it's
it's
definitely
better,
a lot
isn't it?
blacker.
It's not.
There's a lot less
The best.
contour coming out.
Do you think that's our application
Mm.
more than the actual thing? I
Mm.
don't know. I guess that's kind of cool. But yeah, you can see a difference.
Cool.
Amazing.
So also the other thing that Lydia got particularly squee about was he had the pinkest pink, and the yellowest yellow, and the greenest green.
There's someone in the chat
Oh.
saying that's just your burned breakfast. Don't try to fool us.
So yeah, they were quite cool. And what
Good
we're going to
guess.
do is we're gonna paint all the things in the workshop, so we can't actually find anything anymore.
Oh right.
And become
Paint
stealth.
all the doors in
This is Ultimate Ninja outfit.
black hole black. Okay,
We're
that's cool.
upping our ninja game. Yeah.
Very nice.
We're not allowed to lick it though. It's non-toxic, but don't lick it.
Okay.
And if you do, go see a doctor.
Okay.
That's
But,
like
but it's definitely not toxic.
it's definitely not toxic.
Okay.
Well, I've never tried licking a ninja, but I assume you wouldn't live very long either.
Always get a
That is
ninja's
also
permission first. They're very sensitive. Cool.
sensible.
Wise words.
sensible.
Yeah.
So back to the installers.
Back to the installers. Yeah. Okay.
Why not? So we
Live
were just
demo.
saying that we now have a stub in Raspbian. What's it called? apt-get
Well,
Pimoroni.
yes.
many.
Yeah.
apt-get Pimoroni. Could it be more simple?
So we started with kind of you could do apt-get install Python. Is it Python unicorn hat say
Yes.
or Pimoroni unicorn
That
hat?
one not actually, but yeah.
Okay. Which
um,
ones can we install?
Basically, last year, around November, I think, we started to push some Debian packaging of our Python libraries.
Mhm.
And just literally less than a week ago, now we have a stub, as John called it, which is basically a front hand for all our one-line installer. But we'll also use everything that is in the Debian, the Raspbian repository.
Yeah.
And for things that are not, basically pulls them the way they always have been pulled from PyPy.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, so we're going to try to show you what you can do right now.
So let's get the pie up.
Just wanted to mention something from chat where unfortunately I can't see it because it's scrolled off now, but someone was asking if we'd noticed that Will Wheaton was gushing over our new Pi Zero W kits on Twitter. No, we didn't notice that.
No. Will who?
Don't know.
Some guy, you know.
Anyway, let's
Yes, we
boldly
noticed
go
that.
forward.
So Will Wheaton has also bought himself a Picade and tweeted about that. And when he finishes his current writing project, his reward is he gets to build it, right?
We hope so.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to seeing.
But anyway, thanks for the support and thanks for being really interested in general purpose computing with the Raspberry Pi.
Yes, absolutely.
He's on the same page about look, just this cheap device you can do just about anything with. And yeah, we're all about that. Cool. So here we go. You can see on screen now sudo apt-get install. So if you do sudo
So-
apt-get,
Just before we go any further, this is a standard pixel install. This could be a fresh
Yes,
new
yes, I
tab,
think
right?
it's
Nothing-
it's
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
a fresh Noobs 2.2 card.
Yeah.
Hot off the press.
Of course, you would want to do sudo apt-get update first, just to make sure that your sources are up to date. But
Mhm.
That goes to the internet, fetches the latest indexes, doesn't it?
that's
Yeah.
correct. Yes.
Okay.
And then, yeah, okay. Go for it.
Sudo apt-get
So in this
install
instance, we've
Pimoroni.
done it before. It only takes half a minute, but rather than waste half a minute of your time, then we're
Yep.
going to go through this,
Okay.
which is basically a standard package install. And as you can see, it is actually quite happy to honor the request to install Pimoroni.
Pimoroni! We are in your Raspberry Pis
Yeah.
doing something. I can't remember. I can hash cheeseburger, something.
So while that's happening, a lot of people saying, "Can I order 10 Pi Zero Ws?" No.
I think some of that's just joining a new meme of can I order?
Yeah.
But not at the moment. Maybe
Pi Zero
sometime.
W.
Double.
Yeah.
Wobble. Yes.
Because they're doing the Family Guy thing as well with Will Wheaton. And Cool Whip.
Okay, so this is
Anyway.
this has gone off to the repos. Pull down our
Yeah,
package.
so it's pull the source.
Apps does take quite a while on the Pi Zero because it's relatively intensive.
Is it a Pi
processing.
Zero at the moment?
Oh, are you on a Pi Zero?
No,
or
no,
not?
no, no,
No,
I'm on
no,
the Pi
we're-
Zero.
we're
Pi 2.
on Pi-
Oh, it's taken a while, hasn't it?
Yes, I'm not too sure. I think it's rebuilding the man pages
Right.
because it is technically
Oh, yeah,
unexecutable,
so-
so we do have to ship. Well, if you want to be within the policies, you need to ship a man pages, which is essentially just absolutely nothing, just something
Well,
to
Okay,
meet the
Just
policies.
finish. What's happened?
There we go. And now,
Move
if
that
you
out a little
go,
bit so people can see the window better. Ta-da!
yeah, well,
There you go. Rob.
it's pretty much. That's just the install process of the actual
Okay.
product. So once that's done, you don't really need that window.
So in the best kind of L'Oreal hair advert, that was the science bit, and now we're on to the clicking icons.
Correct,
Life
yeah.
is sweet bit. Okay.
So
cool.
this is about like a Wonder Boy in Monsterland, where it says something magical has happened when you the
Okay.
cheat, and it looked like nothing had happened, but then you had like infinite life.
Boom.
And this, it looks like nothing's happened, but nothing's happened.
Woohoo!
We have a pirate in your
Have a look
menus.
to that list. And yeah, basically there's an entry now which leads to the Pimoroni Dashboard.
Cool.
So let's try to
Nice.
see if it's working. And yes,
Hey.
what it says behind is just basically to inform you the first time what this actually does, which is essentially
Oh,
just
that way.
a front end for installers.
Cool.
So you can just dismiss that. It will also do an auto update at that point. So if there was a new version on our server, it would automatically update itself. So that means, like John asked earlier, whether if we release a new product, whether we would have to push something in the Raspbian repo and eventually wait for the sources, the repo to be updated. The answer is no. It'd be down to us to just push that on our own. It would be self-updating.
So
and-
ideally, if we launch something like the Scrollfat HD, like we did yesterday, and you ordered one,
Yes.
and it arrived,
In
and you
fact-
went back into the Pimoroni dashboard, it would update when it loaded.
in fact, if Phil had not been so ill at the moment, we would have that self-update going, because if you look to the FAT, you won't actually find the new ones in that list, but the update is ready, really. We just need to,
Just need to push it up to the
to
servers.
push it up to server,
Okay, cool.
which should be done tomorrow, I think. That was the goal for us, was to, it's more an impromptu demo of the new
We
dashboard.
don't have something to install.
Oh no.
Well, it doesn't
I can
really
go get
matter. I mean,
go get a cable and a hat.
yeah, it's up to you. Yeah, we can.
Yeah, there's fun how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Since-
or a blink or anything that's kind of
Yeah.
easy going.
I reckon he's going to bring back a blinked. What do you reckon? We're taking bets now. Okay.
Well, depends if he's back in a blink of an eye or not.
Can you think of an interesting question about Belgium?
About Belgium.
Yeah. So we can give away a Pi Zero W and 2 of our new fats.
I do actually, but
Okay. Is it something that people can guess or look up quickly? And is it safe for kids?
It's safe for kid, but let me think of something politically correct. Actually, at this point in time, I don't want to upset
Controversial.
anyone.
Who would you upset? It's like the people who.
Well, half the population of Britain.
What's happened?
We're trying to
Okay,
think
Are
of
we
a-
offending people now?
We're giving away Pi Zero W, so
I'll
we're
try
trying to
not
think of a question about Belgium.
Oh.
Belgium.
Okay.
Well, I've got a question about Belgium.
Go on then.
I went on holiday to Belgium a while back
Yep.
to a town called Bruges, and that means that's a word in Belgian, isn't it? Or sorry,
It means something apart from the name of
yeah,
the town.
the name of the town is named after a thing that there are a lot of in the town. What does Bruges mean? That's my
Is
question.
that the actual winning question?
Yeah, all right, why not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
first person
so-
on the YouTube to answer. What does Bruges mean as not the name of a place, but as a word in the beautiful?
As a noun.
Do they the Belgian language? Do they
I
speak
hope he knows the
Belgian?
answer to that one, because I don't. Well, I have an inkling, but
Right.
You must know.
well, French speaking, I think that this is definitely the other language I don't know much about.
Ah, I see. So this is currently upside down, right?
Les Pounder says bridges.
Correct.
Les Pounder.
Yeah, so you
That-
forwarded that one.
that way,
right? Yes,
Yeah, that's pin one.
Yeah, okay.
So does it mean bridges or bridge?
Well, bridges. Bridges.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to give one to Les Pounder and one to Frederick van den Bosch.
Sweet. So one of them gets.
We like both of
Was
them.
it 0 W's?
0W and
you
one
get
each of the
either one of the fat bees,
Mhm.
new ones. So we've just plugged in a mini Black Hat Hacker and a unicorn flat on there. This Pi was Pixel, didn't have any of our stuff installed before. We've
This
just
was-
installed the dashboard.
This was burned as a 2.2 Noobs SD
Good
card
choice,
like 10
yes.
minutes ago.
Good choice.
Yeah, because if it'd been a Square C, we needed a reboot.
I knew that.
Well,
I picked that very carefully.
Technically, we probably
Randomly off
need,
Sandy's
but
desk.
Okay,
let's see
let's
what
go to
happens anyway.
the...
Okay, so
It's the main camera. I'm going to have that one down there. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
So essentially you can scroll through the lists. So as you can see, actually, let me just go one level up.
Okay.
As you can see, we've categorized the products in sort of
So you've got kind of
types.
like, I have a hat, I have a fat, I have something else, and then a few other options like view some documentation, take me to the Pimoroni shop, which is a great option.
correct.
A lot of
Yes.
people should use that one.
There's also something we'll demonstrate quite quickly afterwards, is that you can make screenshots as well if you had a
Oh, yeah,
problem
that's
Mhm.
sweet.
and
It's a
basically
nice feature, yeah.
send it off.
Let's try
Okay.
this. Let's go through the whole process.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
So we've got a FAT. Did we install the FAT yet?
Yeah. So you have a FAT.
Yeah.
And then you go to the list. Actually, you can also type the number directly if you know what
Okay.
the number is.
Can you tell me the name?
Actually, something I wanted to mention, what we're demonstrating here is actually running in an X session,
Okay.
so in Pixel, but it will actually support through the console and including SSH.
So-
It's obviously using a whiptail rather than a Zenity front.
So does it take the screenshot from the terminal as well?
No, from
No,
the terminal
couldn't do
you
that.
can't make screenshots.
You
However,
can, they're
I
text
ju-
files.
Not quite the same, but yeah.
But it certainly will install all the products,
Okay.
regardless of whether you're using Jesse 4 or Jesse Lite, for example.
Okay.
Or if you SSH into the box, you will be able to do all the stuff that
And if-
we're going to go through now.
If you're doing it through an SSH session or from the terminal, it will look a bit different. It'll be text mode
Yeah,
only thing.
it
but
will look
essentially the
like
options are
Raspberry
the same.
config
Yeah.
Okay.
if you're running, because
So
it's
the old-
essentially a
the old
whiptail
blue,
uh, based
Cool.
GUI.
Make it so.
Let's
right.
do it. Let's
So
install
anyway,
it.
yeah. So essentially, it's if you've ever run one of our one-line installers, you probably recognize that sort of prompt, which is updating the sources, which we didn't want it to do earlier on, but we have to do it once. Actually, it's quite smart in the sense that it will keep track. If it's done it once, it won't do it for every installer. So,
Yeah. That's how fresh this is.
but it needs at least the first time to be sure that the sources are up to date.
Okay. James Mitchell is asking if this works on Pixel Live. Is Pixel Live like a Ubuntu Live thing? Is it a
No idea.
read-only system or?
I don't know.
What is it? Is it the
I'm going to find out. I have the power of the internet right here. I
Is
assume
it
it's an
the
evaluation
i36
thing.
the i386 version of Pixel or a live CD? I'm not sure.
Well, it could be, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
But the answer is that possibly.
Why?
The installer themselves do some OS checks. So if the
How
one-line
deep
installer
would-
runs or is allowed to run that distribution, then the dashboard will also do its job.
Okay. Apparently it's just the portable version.
It's DVD on the
So
front of
principle,
MacPi.
maybe.
Well, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. So apparently nobody else knows, so that's fine. Yeah.
But it's not an ARM, right? It's gotta have to be the Mac PC version, or
And since these are all about installing hardware that goes on GPIO, it possibly makes not much sense.
Yeah, I suspect the answer is no.
Yeah.
If it's basically a live CD for PCs or Macs, then no.
right? Yeah. So the Unicorn file is going through its normal process here, which includes downloading the WS whatever the number is following
Yep.
library, including compiling it.
Let's go big on that.
So,
When it's done, it's basically just
Yeah. Running as root. Please log in as regular user. Yeah. Just press
interesting.
enter, it's fine.
Right.
Okay.
still, we were going to try to run a demo of that, or
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the demo's installed as well.
Proving how easy it is.
well, it depends if the product installed correctly, because I can't really read what's going on there.
Oh, I zoomed
Oh,
it.
sorry. Wrong one.
Actually, let me show you actually what you would do if you run into a problem and you wanted to take a screenshot.
Okay.
Okay.
So in there you have, I have a problem.
Let's kill our overlay and there we go. Yeah.
Okay, so if you do that, you have a number of options, and one of them is let me make a screenshot. So it's going to just give you some instructions so you know what you're doing. Essentially, I have to read it back because I can't remember. But yeah. Yeah, so you dismiss that.
Okay.
There you go, and
Draw a
then you
rectangle.
draw a rectangle. I'm going to be fairly rough with that, but
So it's
anyway.
like a click and drag, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you will see that there's a file on your desktop there.
Yay.
So basically you can send it to us. Of
Yeah.
course I could have expanded my window and hopefully the whole thing would be there.
Yeah.
One feature I have in plan at some point is to actually do a proper log file that you can send, which will not just be screenshot based.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to your question, then it will work
Yep.
on the console as well.
Okay.
Smart.
Cool.
But that's a feature sort of on the to-do list.
So it
Yeah.
looks like the messages it gave us here were that it's finalising the installation. It needs to do
Yeah.
something about audio. We need to reconfigure your audio, and that's presumably for when you use
This script will configure your audio.
because it uses the same pins as the I2S audio.
Yes, yes. But anyway, I think the library has worked, so let's actually try to see.
All right.
So if I
Let's get
open
ourselves back
another
on screen.
window,
But the acid
okay,
test.
as you will probably have been
Hey.
used by
Hey.
now, the example should be copied. Well, if I type correctly.
Sorry, it's a bit small.
Ah,
We're kind of squinting at the screen in front of us trying to see that text.
Yeah.
there we
Examples.
Okay.
There you go. So that's essentially what we've done is through the interface run the one-line installer. So if you've run any before, then you know what the result would be. It informs you about that anyway. It will copy the documentation and the examples for the
Mhm.
library you just installed.
Sweet.
Cool.
Right, and then of course I need to sudo because that's special one, the unicorn at, and then I can run the or whatever, and we'll see.
Hey.
What's happening?
Oh
It
yeah,
works.
it is. Yeah, you can see the snow.
Run Rainbow.
Yeah,
All
make
right.
it rain. Oh.
Alright.
So, since this is now in apps, does that mean you could install it using Pi Bakery to make a custom image?
Alright. What's the name?
.py.
Rainbow.py. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Right.
that's rainbowing.
Oh, it's rainbowing so hard.
Okay.
So,
Where's the blackest black?
just to create that contrast.
Ooh.
Yeah, it does still reflect.
Nice.
Yeah, he's asking
It
for
works.
feedback though.
The
It is
system
version
works.
1 of the not the blackest black.
Is it?
Yeah, so yeah, it could improve. Great. So yeah, that
Right.
works.
But essentially, that's the idea. I don't think there's any more I can show you about it. Going through the different options. Well, there's a category at the moment for hats, for fat, and for something that you probably wouldn't describe as either. So of course, if you go there, you'll find the Blink, some older product like the Pibrella, and
And new
Quite
stuff
low.
like Flotilla and Moat.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
cool.
So,
Skywriter.
yeah, so in theory, almost all the install that we have individually, where you always have to remember what bloody command you have to run, because
Yeah.
what's the name of the script again?
Mhm,
Well,
mhm.
with this you don't have to, because essentially you run through menus and you select the one you want.
And they'll always be installed in the Pimoroni folder in your home directory, under which you have a folder per product and the documentation and examples for those products.
Yes, it's been standardized over the period of about a year, which is about the time I've been involved. We have restructured all the repos so they sort of easier to navigate. If you're familiar with one, you should find your feet in every new one created or whatever.
Yeah,
Smashing.
So
that was a
let's-
bit of a work, but Phil
let's
and
say
I
you
just
can
kind
just-
of got through that.
You can just do sudo apt install Pimoroni. So that's
Mhm.
one less word to remember. And
And
now
a
you just have
hyphen.
to remember how to spell Pimoroni,
Yeah.
which is pirate,
Monkey.
robot.
Ninja. Richard is asking, what's the new guy's name again? It's Rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
He has a boring,
quite new, but yeah.
He has a boring Belgian name as well, but we don't use that.
New on the show. Actually, I did a show, one of the very first one a year
Oh
ago.
gosh, yeah.
But I disappeared into the background as a
Yeah.
ninja would do.
Yes. Or a rogue.
Did a few
Yeah.
moves, and there we
That's
go. Thank you for having me, and give it a try. All the products are there, almost. The last two are not, but it will be by the end of tomorrow.
Excellent.
That's a really good segue.
Two.
The close-up cam, so we can look at the new products.
Way.
Hey!
We obviously launched the new kits for the 0W on, when did that launch? Tuesday.
Tuesday.
It's been a long week.
So last minute.
At the time, we didn't have enough stock of the new fats to launch them individually.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to work?
So, yep, there you go.
Hey.
You can probably just put it on the desk. Those stickers are kind of like the marker. There you
Yeah.
go. But we do now have the Scrollfat HD, which is this delightful beast, which is an upgrade from the Scrollfat. It has 17 by 7 pixels. The reason that they're both odd numbers is so that you can center things perfectly on the display.
Yep.
And each LED is individually controllable for brightness, which is a massive upgrade over the Scrollfat.
Yeah.
So the Scrollfat only had 55 pixels. This one has 119 pixels, and you can control each of them individually.
And yet it's not twice the price.
It's £2 more.
Yep.
It's 20% more expensive. So
It's
we,
VFM, total VFM.
yeah, we're basically going to end of life Scrollfat in favour of Scrollfat HD because the extra features are so worth it. It would be remiss of us not to.
Doesn't come with a pre-soldered header. That's just one of Phil's personal collection.
Yeah.
Or Sandy's. I don't know. Whose soldering is that?
I don't know.
Looks like Sandy's actually. It's quite neat.
Sandy's a hammerhead guy all the way now.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't go near a soldering iron.
Yeah.
He's like Hacko Schmacko.
Yeah. So what chip is it?
It is the IS31FL3731.
Trips off the tongue.
Yes, it does. ISSI have some quite nice LED drivers. We've used them on Scrollfat. We've used them on a couple of other things as well. Actually, they're generally they do nice kind of matrix LED drivers.
Mm-hmm.
This particular chip is a little bit unique in having the individual PWM per pixel, but we just couldn't resist.
Yep.
So it's a really nice chip.
It's all good.
And the pixel density is much better than Scrollfat.
Yeah.
Much better for text,
And you do some anti-aliasing and things like
anti-aliasing,
that.
swirly effects.
Yep.
Very, very cool. So
And if you look at the robot kit, it diffuses very nicely, so it's all kind of just...
it does a good job. Yeah, it's great to put behind a diffuser because then you can pick your colour as well, right?
Yeah.
So you get a lot of control.
I think it has a kind of basically cool white pixels.
They are cool white.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. And then the other new thing that's
so
in...
just quickly put up the page.
Ooh.
So if you go to the new products on the website,
There we go.
new products on the website, then you'll find the page for the Scrollfat HD, £12, available to order right away.
Yeah. Andy Quee is asking if the dashboard leaks new products actively.
Well,
It
if
should
you
be
stay
right.
up late enough, because we're usually rushing them through last second,
Yeah.
I guess technically yes.
Mm-hmm. But in this case, no.
Actually, usually the product announcements happen on the Bilge Tank first, and then we rush through
to get everything
making
done,
the
yeah.
one-line install. So
There's
No.
lots of people getting their radio kits
Yes,
and
but no.
saying how Volumio doesn't work yet.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's true, it doesn't work, but it's day one of a new product that's been kept under wraps very well.
That's the difficulty because something like if you're doing an internet radio, you want to use something like Volumio. It'd
Yeah.
be insane starting from scratch, but obviously until the 0W launch, they didn't know about it, and therefore
They
the
have to
support
get
isn't
time
in there.
to wait to get
But-
one and then wait to just update.
yeah, one thing interesting though is that you were talking about Volumio, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't tried it, but I think that must derivate from Raspbian probably will work through a sudo apt upgrade. Having said that, doing that on some of these things break things any other time.
Yeah.
So, but at least you'd get Wi-Fi. It just wouldn't work. Besides
I believe that Phil and Sandy have been working on some instructions
For
to kind of
using-
patch it temporarily until they've updated the proper image to
Yeah.
be compatible with.
Well, it's all a bit. In a week, this will probably not be a problem.
Almost certainly
Yeah.
not.
But in the meantime, they've been playing a bit with Mopedy, which is great for streaming Spotify and things, and that's been working reasonably well. They're just kind of knocking off the edges on some kind of quick guide to getting that set up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a lot of that is based on the Fat Beat, which is in terms of Pantheon, you've got the Fat DAC. So the Fat DAC has audio only, but no amplification.
It's
and it's
just
stereo.
It's just a DAC.
It's just a DAC.
It's
TM.
just a DAC.
Phono or jack.
Mhm.
It's all very basic, and it's
Ooh, like that. Phono or jack. It's just a DAC.
yeah.
Yeah, we should have that as a
We should go back to the 50s and use that.
We totally should.
It's
Yes.
toasted.
But it's designed specifically for you to hook up to your own amplifier. It's a good stereo DAC. Nothing more, nothing less.
So step up from that, you've got the Speaker Fat, which is mono DAC with amplification
and built-in speaker.
and a built-in speaker, or use your own speaker.
You can
If
use
you're
your
a bit
own.
more techy.
But the built-in one is designed great for like embedded projects, audio alerts, voice functionality with one of our USB
Yep.
microphones.
And
It's
now
on the
got
Alexa
USB
style
microphones,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
More of those coming as soon as we can get them. Same with the very mini cameras.
Yep.
They've just been incredibly popular.
They'll be on the way soon.
So yeah, Fat DAC, Speaker Fat, and now Fat Beat, which is stereo DAC with amplification and the VU meters and the buttons.
And 5 switches. 6 switches. Yes.
6 switches and a pony and a helicopter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pony and helicopter not included.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, this one's nice. I like this one for a couple of reasons. Obviously, we built it for the radio kit. We had very specific requirements for that. But the VU on the front being full RGB is kind of fun and will work well for a lot of projects.
Yeah. Well, they kind of fed each other, didn't they?
They did.
By the
They
way,
did.
that was the back that I was showing, so now you can
Yeah,
see
yeah.
the front.
These little guys are APA 102 pixels that
Yeah.
are in the 2020 package is what they're called, but it's 2x2 millimeter basically.
Yeah.
So they're super tiny. They have no kind of surrounding plastic. The whole body is just the lens for the LED. I don't know if you can get that closer up to the camera actually, Rogue, without it just blurring.
Mm-hmm.
It's like doing the steady hands thing,
Yeah,
isn't it?
the secret is just to get a steady hand.
And not have
There we
anything else
go.
it can focus
So you
on.
can see like these
Ooh.
really nice tiny little LED packages. They're quite delicate and they're pretty expensive compared to the standard packages, but we thought it was worth it for
Yeah.
the radio kit. Really nice work, Rogue. You can put it down.
Mike Horn is saying, who do you guys use to design your PCBs?
We do.
All in-house, baby.
Paul does a lot of the silk work. Miko
kick
and
it
I
around.
and well, generally we all do a bit of everything, don't we?
Yeah,
So-
and if somebody says, well, why do you do this, or how about that, and we knock it around, and out comes the Pimoroni effect. And then we send it off to Ragworm, they make the actual FR4 in the UK,
Mhm.
and do the silks, and then we assemble back in Sheffield. So we, fire it off down south, and it comes back up north. And also, how do you suggest doing Slack with Spotify?
You guys do this in your room, don't you?
Yeah, this is something that somebody set up way back, where it's got a little Pi Zero with a server on there, listens to our Slack channel as a bot, and you just go to the music channel and you say, list Volcano Choir, and it will play a Spotify URI.
There you go.
So yeah.
Do you want to flip it over to the back again, Rogue?
So
when
what do you
you-
guys use to design your PCBs? We use Eagle at the moment.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably the biggest difference to most people is that we import a 600 dpi silk screen, which
Yeah.
throws a lot of tools crazy. Like we've sent it off to places that have tried to load that data in, and it's the number of apertures they're called that it generates in the Gerber data is immense.
Yeah.
But we found a way to make it work. So.
Yeah.
But that's why
These-
they're so crisp. That's why our silk screen is so incredibly tight. Is because the art assets are very high quality for that process.
Yeah, but we import them all as BMPs, so they're 1-bit, 600 DPI bitmaps.
Mm-hmm.
We don't try using the fonts in Eagle at all, because that would be crazy talk.
They're
Yeah.
horrible. On the back we have another nice feature is these speaker terminals, which
Mhm.
we've sourced. They're kind of a push-fit connector, so you don't need... Screw terminals are very big and chunky, and obviously we wanted to undermount these connectors and still have it sit nicely on top of a Pi Zero or a full-size Pi.
Yeah.
So we found these surface mount connectors, which you just basically push a tin cable into and it retains it, and then there's a slight pressure kind of sensitive tab at the back that you can use to release the jaws, if you like, to take the wire out.
Yep.
And final thing on there is that we obviously you can see the dual channel. We actually use 2 I2S DAC chips, one for the left channel, one for the right. But we have a switch on there that allows you to switch it from stereo mode, where you get right out on the right connector and left out on the left connector, to mono mode, where you get a blended mono audio on both connectors. So that if your source audio is mono anyway, you can use that to blend it and get it out by the channels.
Yep.
Or if you're just going to a single speaker and you want to blend stereo and just go out to that single speaker, then you've got that option as well.
Cool.
That's kind of handy. And there's some edge-mounted switches. It's focusing on those at the bottom. There you go. Ninja hand. Some little right-angle switches on the side, which are just handy for
They're fairly
controls.
robust. We have had one person who's managed to bend one backwards. We think that's from a very early batch where me and John actually did some production over the weekend.
Foolish. It was foolish.
We don't quite have the honed instinct of the normal Robot Lab crew. If you do have any problems, always get in touch with us. We'll fix it. You might need to poke us a couple of times when we're as busy as we are right now.
Mark Carlin is asking if we have plans for a more powerful DAC amp 25 watt type hat. There's a few on the market already. We're not really interested in just creating stuff that other people already make. Other people do that quite well, so we probably won't bother. And the other thing is that we tend to try and create kind of tight, easy to use integrated solutions that you just plug onto a Pi, and when you get to 25 watts you're starting to talk external power supplies and things like that. So it becomes less of a kind of tidy, easily approachable solution, a bit more complex at that point.
What I'd do there is probably just get a fat DAC and attach it to something like one of the LaPi 20 watt amps.
Yeah.
Because they're small extruded aluminium. You can get them for like 20-30 quid on eBay.
Adafruit have like 20 watt amplifier breakout, don't they?
We sell that, don't we?
You could just take the output through some other external board to do that.
Yeah. And attach some Boss speakers.
Duty Paid is asking if we do a stripped out fat beat without the LEDs. There wouldn't be much point. Just hide the LEDs if you don't want them or don't turn them on. It wouldn't change the price point meaningfully, so
That'd
we
be a
probably
stereo
wouldn't bother.
speaker fat, isn't it? Or very close to
It would
that?
be similar,
That's mono.
but the speaker fat is mono. So
anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be
So yeah,
stereo.
just
The other thing we tend not to do is have like loads of the same product with very slight variations. We're quite opinionated, and we kind of we want these features. Let's put them on board.
Yeah. Somebody's asking about the pen. Do you want to stick that on the close-up?
Well, just a minute before I do. Fat beat is £16.50, which is blooming good value. I think.
How much is fat DAC?
Fat DAC is £12.
How much is speaker fat?
Speaker fat is 10. Speaker fat's incredibly cheap,
Wow.
but it's only good for
Isn't it the
certain
other way
types
around?
of-
Yeah.
10 for
So
fat DAC.
Speaker
I think.
fat is £12.
£12.
Darn it. And
Yeah.
fat DAC is 12 as
10.
well, I think.
No.
Is
Yeah,
it 10?
but
I
stereo.
think so.
It is stereo, but no amplifier.
Yeah.
It's £12. It's all compromises, You pick the one you want.
Yeah, but it's all good value,
It is.
and the digital sound is really good. And I think you have to have inhumanly good ears
Yes.
to kind of hear the audio quality difference from it.
And, worst case, you could just spend £600 on some gold-plated cables or something.
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
That buys a lot of beer.
Pen. This
Oh,
is
pen.
this is
Pen.
capacitive touch pen, so I basically use it for the tablet. Do you
So
wanna
it's
fill
got the name on
overlays? Or one of them at least.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, I thought you were going to show the pen on the
We will
close-up.
do. It's a Troika. It's
Troika,
an engineer's pen basically, but it's nice because it has the capacitive touch nubbin on the back.
So you can get it on Amazon right now. We might look to see whether we can stock this, but yeah. Troika, stationary office supplies.
With a level. Ooh, let's
Yeah,
see if
there
I
we
can
go.
get it level.
You can find them for about as cheap as £13, but generally they're more like £15, £18.
They have a really nice feel, don't they?
Yeah.
The quality.
They just have loads of features. So they are a nice solid ruler, they have a spirit level, they have a capacitive touch thing for your tablet on the
Not
end,
bad.
they have a ballpoint pen as well, and if you unscrew the tip with the capacitive touch in Rogue, that's it, the other one. Yay!
Where am I? There we go.
Unscrew that completely. It's got a reversible screwdriver head.
Ooh.
Which is nice in a pinch.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's good for actually really small screws. It's quite a detailed kind of glasses repair one. So this is just a really useful pen, and it's got a good weight to it. So if you just have one pen in your bag,
Yeah.
um,
It's a good one to have.
it feels really nice and engineered and machined.
It does.
So it's very us, as opposed to a lot of other kind of tool pens which feel a bit kind of like cheap, kind of not quite a good tool.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one feels engineered.
Archie Rocks is asking if we will be at the pie party this weekend, which is a great question because we will be. We're going to have a stall, we're going to bring a load of stuff. I don't know exactly what we're going to have, but if you would like to come and see us, by all means, come and have a chat.
We're going to bring down whatever's left, aren't we, after this week?
It's been a busy week.
Yeah.
But I think we've actually ferreted away some stuff.
Yeah.
For the party specifically.
Just because it's so full of kind of real, kind of super pie community people, so we like them to be able to get some stuff and talk to us and stroke things in front of us and kind of go, so pretty.
It is. We really like the pie party. It's one of the best Raspberry Pi events of the year for sure. It's so focused that everyone's there for the same reason. There's good chatting, good beers after. And you get to see a lot of people you don't see very often. So
yeah, it's all good. Right, thank you for tuning in, everyone. And Pies W0s, W Pi Queeros, Pi Queero W's are back in stock.
They are,
and should be there for at least a few hours if we're lucky.
I think they will.
Which means the kits are back in stock, which means
everything's back in stock.
Go buy the pretty stuff, and don't forget to like,
subscribe,
comment.
And we're now over 2,000 subscribers. Woo! Tune in next week, folks.
See you later.